What's up, everybody? We are getting started right away here. We got to look at these markets. We're setting up for probably what is going to be the most epic face-melting bull run here in just a moment. All the signals are suggesting that we are setting up for that move to the upside. So let's get there. Let's figure out what we can do to make sure that we can absolutely take advantage of this market. Everybody hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell. We're getting right on into it. What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Welcome to the BitLab Academy stream. We have some signals that we have to pay attention to right now. We do not want to mess this up. We do not want to get in a position that we end up with less opportunity when we had the ability right now to change everything about what's possible in our near future. If we can just hold on to our butts. We got some of you folks here in the room, 100 of you right as we're getting started. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. Let's jump right on into it. Looking at the markets as they stand right now, what do we see? We see Bitcoin is just dancing with this up, trying its best to get through and failing here, getting a little bit deeper and essentially coming right down to this neckline that we had on this inverted head and shoulders, bouncing again. We're getting another rejection. Are we going to break through? I want to know, every single one of you that's in the room right now, after you hit that like button and subscribe button and ding in that bell, do you think that we are going to break back into that zone, back into this area, testing this 63,400? Do you think we're going to break into this by the end of the day, daily close candle on Friday? Or do you think this is just dancing and toying with our emotions and it's going to break down? If you think it's going to be testing this area by Friday, throw a 1 in chat. If you think that we are going to ultimately reject here and have at least another, if not further down, but at least a test back into this $58,000 zone, throw a 2 in chat. I'm curious to see what you guys are thinking, what you guys are feeling. But I'm feeling grateful this morning. I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling excited that we are here ahead of, billions and billions of people. We're ahead of hundreds of thousands and millions of institutions. Let's not mess this up because we have the signs, we have the signals, we have all the things that we want to see flashing for very strong upside in the near future. The question is going to be not if, but the question is going to be when. Whether that is here within the next couple weeks or if it's going to be sometime by the end of this year, kind of for me, honestly, it doesn't matter. Can it get frustrating when we need to be patient? Absolutely it can, but that frustration serves as a mechanism to move money, to move capital, to move your Bitcoin, to move your altcoins from you being impatient to those that are being patient. So if you can choose, if you can set up a strategy, if you can set up your outlook on this market to be patient, then you're going to be one of those benefactors. And that's what this is all about. I want every one of you to absolutely crush it in this market as the market starts to explode to the upside. But in order for you to realize those profits, in order for you to realize the change in your life, the change and what is possible here, then you're going to need to be patient. You're going to need to zoom out a little bit because it's going to happen at a blink of an eye when it does. And if you're not in the correct position or with the right frame of mind or looking at the right type of charts or not already stacked and sitting on your hands, then you are absolutely going to be so upset with yourself in the near future by not taking heed of that advice. Now, looking at the markets, we're pushing right back up, still under $2.3 trillion. But just let that sink in. Even though it's chopping sideways, feels like nothing's happening, just under $2.3 trillion asset class. This is not a joke. This is not a game. This is not something just for your entertainment. This is something that is changing the course of how business, life, and culture is going to operate, transact, and communicate into the future. This is a chance of a lifetime. I will not mess this up. I hope all of you can listen back to what I just said there and say that for yourself as well. Some of that is going to take some hardship. Some of that's going to take some bumps and some bruises along the way, but we learn from those. And that's why all of us are here. You're here. I'm here. We are here together. I love you guys. I love you gals. We are doing this together. Let me go ahead and pull up my chat window. For some reason it disappeared. Where is my mouse? Pulling up the chat window here so I can see you. I don't know why I can't see you. Show all utility windows. There we go. Now I can see it. What does he say? Sawtooth Hiker says zoom out, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Why is that not popping up? There we go. Boom. Zoom out. We got to zoom out so we can see what the heck is going on. And we've got some charts that we're going to be showing you here today, and we're going to be breaking down some of these signals. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's do that right now. Let's go through what we want to look at. I'm having issues with my mouse today, but we're going to do this. We're going to get through it because we're here to not only have a good time, but we're here to change our lives, right? Now going on, here we go. Spot ETF. Remember, the Ethereum spot ETF is coming up, and this is going to cause a speculative boom, and then very likely, more likely than not, because we see this, I mean, I don't know, I'm going to make up a percentage, 9 times out of 10, 90% of it, more often than not, we see a speculative rise, buy the rumor, sell the news. Now, this does not mean sell the news like Ethereum is over, but there is a very likely chance here that we see a run up in Ethereum preparing for that ETH spot ETF launch July 2nd. And more likely than not, a little bit of a sell-off out of that, which in this case would be rise, the speculative push, retrace, buy the dip, continuation. We need to pay attention to that. But here we see Bitwise CIO Matt Hogan predicts that the spot Ethereum ETFs will attract 15 billion in net inflows within 18 months. This is not 18 days. This is not 18 hours. This is not 18 weeks. We have to look out into the future for this to really see what's going to happen here. Now, the Bitcoin spot ETFs were, I think, very severely underestimated, which actually ended up being incredibly good for the market. So we just want to pay attention that this is going to be something that will likely have huge impact with inflows, but it's not going to be immediate. And it's also going to depend on what the market is doing at the time. If we start seeing a further pullback on Bitcoin and the crypto markets, we'll also see a truncated or severely limited amount of inflows potentially into the Ethereum spot ETFs. If the market is relatively flat and starting to push up, then we will see heightened interest and flow into this ETF. So there's a lot of things at play here, but all in all, when we zoom out and look to the future, this is incredibly good as we're looking to what's coming in the near future. Now, signs of a local bottom. Let's go ahead and head over to this right here from CryptoQuant. I highlighted this on the on the Discover Crypto show earlier, but this is basically the same thing I've been highlighting that called for the Bitcoin price to pull back. When it did, I posted that chart on June 5th, and about 6 days later or so, the price pulled back from, I think it was 71 or something, down to 65, fell further to 63, fell further to 61. And I was highlighting this specific metric. The funding rates for perpetual contracts have dropped to near zero, meaning it's not, if it's high, if it's positive and rising, that means more people are going long. If it's negative and falling further, that means more people are going short. Indicating, because this has fallen to zero, indicating a greater balance between buyers and sellers. We want that healthy balance. This is creating a healthier and less overly optimistic price structure. Now, this is bullish. We don't want super optimistic price structure, meaning price is rising. We're going to a very known resistance level, and we see a huge number of people betting long and increasing, which would be displayed or implied by the rising funding rate into a level. Short-term holders, the price has crossed the realized price of short-term holders to the downside. It dipped below that metric I've been calling out for about a year, which was at 62.6. Currently, short-term holders are experiencing slightly negative average profitability, a point that has historically acted as support for local corrections during uptrends. Remember, we are still, despite feeling like it's been boring since March 15th when the price started chopping, down into the right, despite that, when you zoom out on the macro, you have to remind yourself, coming out, let's go to the 3-day, you have to remind yourself, this is an uptrend. This is that date that I was talking about here, March 13th, March 14th, right around here, started consolidating sideways. So we don't want to let ourselves get bored out of good positions. Okay. A significant factor influencing price action in recent months has been the U.S. macroeconomic data. Given the uncertainty about the future of American monetary policy, this is a lot of words. Essentially, what we're seeing here is we still have other economic data that's coming out tomorrow and Friday, in addition to the debate that's happening tomorrow evening as well. A lot of factors at play right now that's making money a little bit reluctant to deploy positions one way or another. All in all, I think this is actually a good and healthy thing for where we're at in the market. And everybody stick with me here, because we're going to be diving in here in just a few minutes to some TA on some charts. I'm going to be showing some things we need to watch on Ethereum. I'm going to be showing some things that some signals and some levels we need to watch on Bitcoin. And then we're going to be diving into some of your favorite altcoins. I want every single one of you, it's in the live chat right now, to drop 2 altcoins that you'd like to see some TA on, and we'll see which ones we're seeing a huge, the more popular ones that you all want to see, because I'm here for you, man. I don't need to just show what's going on in my portfolio. I want to chart things that you're looking at. I prefer that we don't do a bunch of meme coins, because we do that on the DGen Alpha show and a bunch of the other shows, but may highlight 1 or 2. But let's get solid coins here on the stream. Now, July, we're coming in to July, and ignore the month, ignore the date, ignore the halving cycle. What we can see right here, these sort of zones, the monthly increase of basically the price, the separation from the 200-day moving average, but also this structure, bull trend, bear trend, accumulation, start a bull trend, a lot of doubt, and then that super parabolic, same thing, bear trend, accumulation. In this case, we had a bull trend and a bear trend with a washout. So much happened last cycle. It's incredible. I do think that this cycle is still looking relatively a lot more similar to the 2016-2017 cycle that took price sub $100 all the way up to $1,900. Okay? It's actually, maybe it was around $180 or something. It's very low, all the way up to $19,000. And where we're at right now, this is why people, it's like, we need to stop looking at price. Look at the structure of things and the flood of new people that are going to be coming in, because not only do we have all these ETFs, from these ETFs, we have major financial institutions that now are incentivized to promote their products to people, AKA they need to educate the general public on crypto and why they need to get these ETFs. All of us, most of us at least, are out here holding self-custody of the coins that we have. Some of you might also have some. I'm actually curious. How many of you out there, throw a 1 in chat if you have exposure to a Bitcoin ETF? I'm curious. Maybe we'll have 1 or 2. Maybe there's more. I'd actually be surprised. But the majority of people over the next 15 years are going to have exposure to Bitcoin through these ETFs. And as these things, Bitcoin, Ethereum, I think Chainlink at some point will have an ETF. Solana may. Everybody thinks Solana's next, but we'll see. Chainlink is definitely way more tied into traditional and blockchain markets. But then there's a lot of other opportunities out there. Litecoin, the forgotten coin. That's right. Peter John Laram says, not your keys, not your Bitcoin. But that's not going to disincentivize somebody that is 65 years old or 75 years old that finally gets exposure to Bitcoin or Ethereum, because a lot of them that even do get exposure may not even realize they're getting exposure, because these ETFs are now getting lumped in. These products are getting lumped into broader hedge fund assets, where you're getting mutual fund type assets that I think over time are going to large in part be tied in with these other investment opportunities, people not even realizing that they're part of those investment portfolios that they're getting. But we're coming into this period in the market similar. I mean, you can't see this over here. Can you see my mouse right in here? We can see my mouse right in here. See my mouse right in here. This is the same spot we're in right now. And we're getting so bored that we're like, this is going down. It's going to drop to 8,000. No, don't fool yourself. We're coming into an amazing time in this market. And essentially, we're seeing the RSI hitting zones that the last several times that they has seen 60%, plus 63%, plus 198%. We're doing this again right now. So we are setting up for strong bullishness. In addition to the RSI being low, not only is it low, but dropping into this level with this higher low on price action. See this low? Slightly higher low, but more importantly, the RSI much lower low. Back here, RSI much lower low. And then what do we see right here again? Slightly higher low, and we see much lower low on RSI. This is hidden bullish divergence. Price is holding up while the strength is resetting to a better level lower, giving us so much more room to run to the upside when it does start going. This is incredibly bullish. This is a setup we're looking for. This is what we want to see when we're trying to identify good opportunities in the market. Now, if you haven't yet, make sure we're about to dive into some TA. I'm doing mostly TA today, baby. We got to look at these charts. Make sure you're giving me a follow right here at Kelly Kellam, KELLYKELLAM. And then, of course, at Academy BitLab. Drop a follow there. Make sure you're following the correct account. And before we dive in, make sure you are protecting your capital, protecting your crypto. It's my favorite crypto cold storage solution out there. It's one of the best, I think the best that's available out there. It's 3-factor security with the actual physical card, with the app that you have on your phone, with your biometrics, and then also your PIN. There's a lot of factors here that can help you very much protect your capital but also through that protect your future. One tap. Swap, trade, store. Make sure you check it out. GetArculus.com. And the code for that is LAB10, LAB10 for 10% off. Make sure you also help and support the channel by making sure you're protecting yourself here. Now, when we're looking at what's going on, let's go ahead and zoom in here to what's going on. We talked about this yesterday. Price was kind of in a little bit of a no man's land here when the price had flushed out all this liquidations, pushing price back up into this sort of zone here where there was, not many liquidations below us. This also shows that a lot of people there's not a huge amount of people going long here, which is actually what we want to see. You would know that because you start getting a lot of these liquidation zones below the price. We have a little bit of a hot zone down here at 50, what price level is this? $58,000, okay? And we've talked about that a lot. This is why it's going to be important if price does dip down into here. I think this could be a spring that could send us back to the upside. But as prices move down, as it's pushed back up, look at all the liquidity above us. This is a magnet for price action. So this is what we want to see. This does not mean price is going to go directly there. It means that there's an opportunity and more of an incentive for price. Statistical probability suggests that there's more likelihood that this moves up than down. That's what I'm saying. And when we get back out of this chart, let's shrink that right here. I'll come back into this chart right here. See, we're pushing back up. We still have a large negative delta, although we're having some liquidation levels directly below us. We see all of this directly above us. Two different ways to look at that same metric, okay? And when we talk about this, the winds are shifting also. We had all this negative inflow, minus 2,200 Bitcoin, minus almost 2,000 Bitcoin, a little minus 2,700 Bitcoin. And then yesterday, this went back positive, showing flows positive into the space again. Now we did a little, outflow here on ARK Invest. Let's actually refresh this page to make sure that nothing's changed here. But plus 145, and we're seeing this maybe this has bottomed out. This is the flows coming into Bitcoin ETFs. This is the flows coming out. Kind of triple bottom here. We're trying to break back above this and get those positive inflows coming back in. Now, when we're talking about that data that signaled back here, June 5th, as price was pushing up, and we can actually draw a trend line just like you do on TradingView here because this has that same API. Draw a trend line here. As price was pushing into the zone, you ask, what is the health? What's the health check of this? Does the runner have room to run? Does he have the energy? Well, in this case, here's the starting line or the finish line. And you determine that, meaning starting line, breakthrough. Finish line, meaning rejection. You determine that by looking at the health. We've talked about this a lot. I don't want to bore you with it because those of you that watch on a daily basis, you see me talk about it. But to basically synopsis of this, as this is rising up, more people, this metric right here where you see my mouse, as this is rising up and sustaining, this means everybody's going long, the majority are going long at least, and it's increasing because the funding rate is increasing, meaning it's becoming more expensive because more people are going long. And we also see the open interest rising into that, suggesting that this is probably a reversal zone. What we got the reversal. Now, As it's flipped to the downside, everybody's flipped to committed short. Now it's committing short. Open interest has kind of gone flat here. So we're kind of waiting on the determination. This is that no man's land sort of, I call it in some ways a no trade zone through today, through tomorrow into Friday, because we have that economic data that we just talked about. We have on Thursday, we have the GDP, the gross domestic product, how much money is being generated by our economy, and the initial jobless claims data. And on Friday, inflation data, which is further going to give indication about what the posture of the Fed's going to be regarding their stance on monetary policy and interest rates. So paying attention to this data and looking at a chart and understanding the context, you get a clearer picture of, man, there's going to be likely some washouts. There could be another move down, then back up. There could be pushing up, getting everybody committed long again. We get another instance like this, flush them out one last time, then continuation. We're going to have to see how this week plays out. But then again, we can see we are in a bullish trend. Do not get so locked in all of the noise, because look, we are still in this massive bull flag. Even if you don't want to consider the bull flag, we are in a descending parallel channel. This could go on a bit longer. Dr. Jeff Ross, who thinks that the price action is going to be somewhere in the plus 380 to 400,000 at the Bitcoin bull market top, suggests that we, basically could crab throughout the summer. So very bullish on the end of where the all-time high could be, but also more balanced on, hey, just because I have a high price target for the bull market top doesn't mean we can't chop the life out of people before we actually having that resolution to the upside. And as it stands right now, despite any time period that we're looking at, we're seeing price just consolidate at previous all-time highs. You've heard this a lot from me, but some of us still don't get it. Look at this. We are basically chopping within the zone. Deviation above, deviation below, deviation above. And look at this, perfectly bounces right on it. And then now quick deviation below, sucked right back in. If we can maintain here and start working our way back up, this might be the sign that we're working towards that bullish resolution, aka a breakout to the upside. FET is pumping again currently, says Seth Shepard. Shout out to you. Let's go ahead and look at FET, which is Fetch. We have the ASI merger happening in days. So let's go ahead and look at Fetch and talk about what's going on there. Where is Fetch? There you go. Boom. So we had the rising wedge breakout to the downside, like this would have suggested. We came down and look at where, I can't make this up. We drew this out. I hadn't seen this until today. This came down. Look at where this tapped. I'm talking not only in the box. What's in the box? The wick from the previous level that we outlined. The wick is in the box. Look at this. Tests right into the zone. Stiff rebound. Boom. Back to the upside. And now we are trying to work ourselves back up. Now, there's some bullishness here in that we've broken past this high. We've broken past this high. We've broken past this high. And now what we're doing is we're testing this range right here. Where is price going to go? Where is it going to pause? Always ask yourself that and say, if I want to know where it's going, let me see where it's been. In this case, we'd see right here, the price struggled a little bit at this zone. So price currently struggling at this zone again. Why is that? Because when price is starting to move up, people go, because not everybody's a long-term holder. People might have bought here. Shit, they might have bought way up here. But they see this rebounding up. They go, okay, I want to take some profits. Where should I take profits? Well, I see that there's been interaction here before, so it might reverse there. So I'm going to take some profits there. That's what happens in these markets. This is why you see the battle of the bulls and the bears every step of the way. What is the battle? This is the battle between the bulls and the bears. The price bounces, bullish impulse up, people take profits, bears send it back down. They say, where are the bulls going to defend? There. Now we have a new story to be told, because this was all lower low, lower high, lower low. Oh, fake out, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Now look at this, much higher high from this very local range. And then the question is going to be, is this going to break down and negate that? Or is this going to support? This is a change of trend. The answer to that is on the pullback. Where does the next low come in? Do you have a higher low following it? So we have a higher high followed by a higher low, suggesting the next move is going to then break this high again. This is what we got. Does that make sense? Seth Shepard says you nailed AVAX too. It's almost 26. That 24 level was killer support. You are right. We've been mapping these out, sharing some absolute killer calls on this. And I'm not going to get every call right. I've gotten some right, and I've gotten some wrong as they could be. But I try to be as unbiased as I can when I'm looking at this market. Now, what I'm seeing here, we've got a bit, it's kind of, see this higher low? Now we're kind of rounding out. What do I mean by this? We have this like this, right? And then the next low, much steeper. If this can continue up, then this may be basically setting up for that move to continue up. But we really are watching this zone right here will be the next area of interest on fetch. And we're in it. We've entered it right here. All this chop, this bounce, 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 bounce. This is a point, look, the bounce on the inside range of this. If we could push up through this, I think the next level is going to be roughly about right here, option J, which is $2.06. But we have to realize, same thing we just talked about with Ethereum. Remember, when I brought up this story right here, I was mentioning buy the rumor, sell the news. The ASI merger is coming, and we may be pushing up into it only to have a little bit, however big, sell-off out of it, and then the resolution to the upside. So even if this works all the way up here into the 228 or beyond, you're going to want to watch for a potential pullback after that ASI merger happens. But this is actually looking quite like a bullish structure. I wouldn't really call it an inverted head and shoulders, but very similar kind of a shoulder, much deeper, much smaller, and now kind of resolving to the upside. But let's pay attention to what happens here. If this does pull back, I'd be watching this zone right here. Boom. Right across, right in here. Coming back down into the zone. Let's see if this lines up with the Fibonacci. Option F. If you're on PC, that's Alt F. Drag this up. Okay, look, that's roughly about where the 382 is. And look where the golden pocket is, right where this pulled back to before this high was established, giving us two reasons that if this does lose this level, I'm watching for a buy opportunity down here at $1.36. Prepping for war, says Kelly, it's crazy how much short open interest is above price right now. Yeah, it's a interesting dynamic right now because there's so much on the line with hope, speculation, and just concern about what different data is coming out, as well as the debate stuff going on, what talking points, but then also monetary policy, but also how underwater all the banks are. I mean, it's like we're in like trading and investing is not easy. I hope you all realize that. You can learn some TA, you can learn on-chain, because you have to master your emotions about it all. And there's always different data you are contending with. You have to realize that. You have to realize that trading and investing is not some easy thing because you learned a couple patterns on technical analysis and because you learned on-chain data. Now you know every buy, you know every sell, you know where to take profits, you know where to find your entries. The context of the data surrounding any asset class that you're in is different on a daily basis, different on a moment-by-moment basis. And also remember, investing and trading is about speculating where price is going to move into the future. And you're battling and contending with every other market participant out there that's also contending with all that data that you have as well, trying to forecast where that shift of winds of the bulls and the bears is going to be. The question is, what you can control is your emotions. The question is, what's your strategy? The question is, what's your time horizon? If you can master those things and also include your knowledge of technical analysis and on-chain data or market context news, you have to blend all these things together and then understand what your goal is with every investment. And then you stand a chance. And in fact, you can likely do much better than the majority of the market. That's what we need to pay attention to right now and what's going on. So let's get back into this TA. Let's look at this. My average entry on Stacks is about $2.06, just a part of the game. Yeah, let's look at Stacks. Tig Old Biddy says Stacks, a longtime community member here in the channel. So shout out to Tig Old Bits. Stacks, STX. How many of you in the live chat right now hold Stacks? I'm going to be scrolling back here and looking at y'all's comments for some other TA suggestions as well. But looking at Stacks, I still believe that the BRC20 narrative, the Bitcoin ecosystem narrative, is going to do spectacularly at some point in this cycle. Whether that narrative is going to pop off early or late, it's anyone's guess. But I'm stacked and ready. So we got a bit of a zone here that the price action came into. What zone is it? It's right there. Why that zone? Because we see this struggle here. We see the support there. We see the struggle there. Rejection on the top side, rejection on the bottom side. I try to find the price, the spot on the chart where I'm seeing, in this case, a box where the most bounces and rejections generally happened. David Lee Luthan said he's a stack holder. Could you look at DESO? We could look at DESO for sure. Now, we had this downtrend, all the hope about the BRC20 narrative coming into the halving, right? And then sort of loss of faith because it didn't happen immediately. But what does this happen? Jennifer Hiraldo says she's a stack holder. Good, it's a good asset to have. Rejection, rejection, rejection. We're coming down. We've got a bit of a channel here. Falling channels tend to be bullish, but you got to realize this does not give you an indication of when the bullish break's going to happen. Now, in this case, what we're looking for is an intersection of data. We're looking at an intersection of the falling support levels with this horizontal chop level right in here. And currently, we have somewhat bottomed. We also have lower lows on the price action. What do I mean by this? Here's a low. The price action now bounces a little bit lower. That's a lower low. Now, in conjunction with this, we're looking at other data. So we're looking right here, option V. I'm just putting some horizontal lines. Now we're going to ignore the price action. We're going to look at the data, looking at the BitLab trading stack. Okay. What do we see? We see the RSI double bottom. I'm looking at the crosshairs on my mouse. See the blue dotted lines? This is where I can see when my mouse moves, I can see where the same level is looking horizontally and vertically. So we have a double bottom on the RSI. Stochastics, we do also have a lower low like we saw on the price action. Man, in addition to that, we see Alex Green says, I mean, this chart does look good. I'm going to get some. But we also see the momentum here has a higher low, a bit of a bullish divergence on the momentum. So from this point to this point, the momentum has now, it's taken less of an impulse to the downside, showing a little shifting in that narrative between the bear's strength. You're seeing the bear strength stronger, the bear strength weaker. That's what you're seeing when you're looking at these momentum waves on the BitLab trading stack here on the BitLab Trend Fuel. Find support again on this level. Bullish momentum, bullish divergence, but we still have negative money flow. There's still questionability. There's still some concern as to the bullish narrative. But what we see here, is a price action bouncing and breaking past this range right here. And when it does that, it's come back down and found support on that range. Currently, this is not a foregone sold story. This is just the start of it. We have the impulse up, the bears being tested here, where the bull is going to come in. Currently, they're coming in at a great level. If they can maintain this level and push up, then this is truly, starting of an attempt to get back to this zone, right? And look at my crosshairs. What do you see on those crosshairs? What you see on the crosshairs, where my mouse currently is, let me go ahead and go like this. Where my mouse currently is, what do you see? All these lows, boom, 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 boom. In addition to that, what do you see? A rejection high, a little bit of chop in here, a little bit of rejection here. So where we are coming, if the price comes into this level, then this means it's somewhat of an important level. We may have a little trouble there because not only do we have the descending resistance line, we also have all those levels we just pointed out of these bounces here, which is then going to be potential rejection here, but also rejection, support, rejection, support. You can see this is a key level. If the price action is able to find support here and push up, let's pay attention to this for a potential little bit of a hesitation, little stutter step, little Terrell Owens. Name your favorite Messi, whatever it is, a little juke step. Oh, fake you out, go, right? because it gets temporarily rejected here is not the end of the world. It's a resetting of the health to find the bulls to then take that launch. So we are looking good generally here on this setup, and we're coming into this zone. If we lose this zone, then we could talk about going lower back to, down here into the $18s, $17s. But as it stands right now, I'm looking for this. See how this comes down? Test the top side of the range. Comes down, trades a little sideways into the middle, test the top side of the range. Comes down, so we could either test sideways here or inch our way up to test this cross section that we just talked about. I'm bullish on stacks into the future. Let's see how this one plays out. Solana, we have not looked at Solana in a while. I saw several of you type Solana up there. I'm going back through that list that you guys have. Let's see. Looking at y'all's tweets or comments there. Solana, just descending level, broke out, came and tested these two lines, projected out. Look where it rejected. Boom. A little bit of a double top with the lower high, suggesting the weakness, then drops back down. But this is nice that this has now found support 1, 2, 3, 4 times. If we can hold this level, it's on the 4-hour chart. And in addition to this, if we can hold this level, we also have another bullish signal here. This is on a lot of altcoins right now. A lot of altcoins. That is this broadening wedge, descending broadening wedge. See, this is like the bears are but then now we have this descending resistance and very fast descending support. The fact that this is shot all the way back up into the zone, if we can take this out, I think this will be the start of a realistic attempt to start basically working the price action back up into about 158. Why? Because I'm looking, when I move my mouse, this is why I want you all to put crosshairs on here. I'm going to show you how to do it right now. Come here, right click on your chart, go to settings, and then right here it says canvas, come to crosshair. You can pick what color you want. You want green, you want blue, okay? And then you can pick how bright, how big you want those. See how big those are? You can make it very small just so it's subtle. I make them a little bigger so you guys can see them. And then you can pick, do you want a line? Do you want a dotted line, a dashed line? Let's do a dotted line. That's how you do it. So now as I move my mouse up, what I'm doing is I'm looking left on the chart. I'm saying, where does this pin both support and resistances in the majority of the places? So right there is a good spot. Why is that a good spot? Option H. We could see support, rejection. A little bit of trouble here, but look at this. Rejection below it, support above it. Rejection, rejection, rejection. So this tells me this 155 to 158 region, when this starts pushing up, just on a horizontal price basis, this is the level that I'm watching for either a potential little struggle, a little hesitation, almost stutter step, and then continuation up into this zone or not. This gives me an idea. I'm mapping out, so I have an idea where price action will have key interactions along the way. Now, what else can we do? From this level, the top, Option F, if you're on PC, Alt F, just type that in, just press Option F or Alt F. That's it. Then move your mouse to where this top is. You can see with the cursors. Now click once, move your mouse down to this level, to this low, click again. There, now you've drawn a fib. Now this is kind of in a no man's land as it relates to fibs on this entire move. But remember, you can draw fibs from multiple locations. So let's do it from here. Let's see if there's an interaction. Look at that. Golden pocket from this breakdown point. Interaction from this breakdown point is roughly about where the golden pocket is. So there's some substantiation of an indication of, I'm using too many big words. There's a substantiation of the indication that you're going to transmogrify your chart right here with hyperbolization. Now, what we're saying is as the price potentially breaks out from here, we're going to want to watch a little bit of a rollover, find support. This isn't going to be an area of interest, 155 to 158. And then we still have to watch when we get back up in here to the 170s because we have all of this chop, which will be in line with where this trend line comes in line with. Do you see what I'm talking about? All the chop, come across. What do we see? Right here, 170. So these two zones I'm really watching if we get the bounce to the upside. If you understand the hesitation points along the way on the upside, you don't have a heart attack when this gets up there and just has a small retracement on the way up. If this gets rejected here, we're watching for support at 134 for super bullishness, meaning a little bit more of a shakeout and then a move up. If we lose this level, then we're probably looking back down at 128, potentially lower. So again, a little bit of a hesitation zone over the next couple of days about moves that you're making. 157 people. I guess we lost some people watching. I guess you guys don't like charts and stuff, but it's all good. We got the true believers here. Big love to each and every one of you. Hit the like button, show some love. Let YouTube know you like this content. I'm scrolling back into y'all's comments now as well, seeing some of the other ones that you guys had mentioned. Nathan Sherwood said clickbait. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But you can clickbait onto another channel if you want. We're talking about ultimate bullishness. I guess you didn't, you saw 3 seconds of something that wasn't specifically on the title and you were offended. You know what? I don't want offended type of people on the channel. Get the hell off. This is all about positivity, growing together, learning and understanding what's going on. I went over the first 10 or 15 minutes of the channel, of the show, talking about the buy zone that we're in right now, getting ready to absolutely launch. If you can't see past the 3-minute chart, then you haven't learned anything, and I don't want you here. That's just how it is. I'm kind of tired of people that are trolls and all that kind of stuff. This is all about a community that grows together. So that's what this is about. Let's get it. But if you want to rectify your thoughts on this, that's all good too. Let's grow. I have not had breakfast yet, if you can't tell. Feisty Kelly. Filecoin coming down, boom, bounce, bounce. We got to look at this lower low, and we're getting higher lows right here. Higher lows on this momentum wave as this is getting lower lows. And this might be setting up for a move here sometime soon. It's not quite yet. But it's all good. Kelly, what's your X tag? You can see it directly next to my face right there at Kelly Kellam, KELOY. KELLAM. You can see it, boom, right there. I only have one. There's a lot of fake accounts out there. Make sure you follow the correct one. 25.3 thousand followers. If it has more or less, it ain't me. If somebody's asking you for money to trade, like, give me your money, I'll trade for you. That's not me. I don't do that for anybody. But we got to get back actually and look at a couple things. I don't know why I logged myself out. Give me 1 second. Let me log myself back in. I got some other metrics. I got some magic I want to show you. bobcallum@gmail.com. There it is. And my password is... Alrighty. Looking at this metric right here, we've seen we can get overheated with a lot of people in profit. We did that. This does not mean the market cycle's over. Okay? We did that. Look at this. 1, 2. So many times here in this 2016, 2017 cycle, right? And we had a lot of just this basically washouts to the downside. The 8 moves from 26 to 40% to the downside. Bitcoin top date predictions. Bitcoin top date predictions, I think it'll be somewhere in the earliest, Q2 of next year. More likely somewhere around end of Q2 into middle-ish of Q3 2025. But this, we're still setting up at this early part in the market. See these first 2 tops right here? This is roughly where we are now in this market cycle. So when we're looking at all these altcoins and we're looking at like Filecoin and we're wondering, is it ever going to go? Well, all this is doing right now is that the kickoff of the true, absolutely incredible bull trend move. We're washing out all those that are not deserving right now. When I go through the academy, I'm going to treat it like school. Hey, dude, get it. For those of you that have not participated, we have a full BitLab Academy courses, as well as all of the Discord and everything going on there. Definitely get involved. You can share it with your friends, family. I don't mind. Just get involved. The more people that learn about crypto, understanding how to read charts, understanding how to read what's going on the data, the psychology, all that kind of stuff, it is all there. We still have that deal going on, lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal. Type that whole thing in. It is pinned in the top of the comments where it says BitLab free expires. Click on that pinned comment. You have a click. You can click a link and get involved there. The 15 days free is for the Discord, and where we're sharing all those various different charts, setups, breakdowns, feedback on technical analysis. And it's not just me. I want you all to know that I can't post in there all the time. I post in there a lot some weeks, and other weeks I have a bunch of admin stuff going on. But we got Alex Green in there. We got John Dalton in here, shares so many great charts. You can also request charts to be done and setups and targets and all this kind of stuff. Scalps, gym calls, gym chat, alt spot trades. So many different things going on in here. Joshua Jake's in here sharing things in here periodically as well, and his watch list. And I just shared a huge sort of thing the other day before the drop, outlining why I think we might get a drop and where it was going to be. And you get that 15 days free and then 33% off for the rest of the time that you are in there. It's on this page, lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal. Once you sign up there, then there's the opportunity to add on to that to get the indicators and the courses all together at a very, pretty steep discount. That one's not 15 days free. Just know that because you immediately get access to all the indicators as well as all the courses. But you can watch them all as much as you want and get in there and learn yourself. Now, coming back over here. Again, I want to shout out our sponsors, Galactics, powered by Arculus, and of course Polkadot, which I'm loving what's going on with Polkadot. But Filecoin, breaking down from this pattern that we talked about, where did it go? Right to the zone that we outlined with all these supports and resistances. Shout out to Tig Old Biddy, says we're here for Feisty Kelly. Breakfast is on me. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. Big love to anybody that's watching is a part of the channel. Also, Seth Shepard is a new member on the channel. Just so you all know, you can become a BitLab member if you click right below. I'm talking about on YouTube. If you click right below the video, there's somewhere where you can basically make sure you're subscribed, ding the bell, notify all, and then we do member streams in the Discord for the BitLab members. I share. If you're a BitLab YouTube member, you get access to these as well as all the emojis. And by the way, everybody, shout out. Look into, I think Alexander G. See if you can find it. I put in that funny emoji that I can't remember who shared it. It is in there. It's hard to see because I'm going to have to redo it. But you can see it's the one with the little, I don't know what it is, but with the G on it. But we got a couple more coins we want to look at. We got a couple more coins. Filecoin broke down just as we had identified was likely, but we are setting up in a zone for a potential move if the market really starts to move to the upside to basically come back up here, test $5, the next level up here about 558, and then we can start looking for continuation to the upside. So as it stands right now, still consolidating. Ocean, look at this, similar to what we saw on Fetch, but this one having this descending trend line, breaking out, coming down, testing, and then pushing to the upside. This is looking good. Watch for a move to the downside, testing back into the 68-cent region, because this is starting to look like it's getting very tight, almost like a rising, see this? Almost like a rising wedge, getting tight into the zone. I would watch for a breakdown into the zone, maybe even testing back here to the 63-cent zone. Remember, this is Fetch, Ocean, and AGIX, all part. They're going to look very similar because they're all going to trade similar to what we're seeing as we move into that ASI merger. Is there any update on that? Let's go over here. By the way, this is the one and only Kelly Kellum page. Make sure you're following it. ASI. Artificial, here we go. Artificial superintelligence. Any updates? June 24th. That was 2 days ago. Make sure, by the way, you go and you check this out. If you do have Fetch, Ocean, or AGIX, it's going to impact you differently depending on which coin you have. I'm going to put this in the live chat right here. It will break down quite a bit of what you need to know about and also the timeline of what's happening there. But let's look at a couple others. DOGE. We have not looked at DOGE in a minute. I saw one of you all post that in the live chat. We do have a bit of a trend line here. Bounce, 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 bounce. We're on the 4-hour chart. This is looking, I mean, I think everything's hesitating right now. Everything is kind of waiting on what happens. This is not, there's no real trend line here. Unless you look at this falling wedge, very elongated falling wedge. This is trying to break out of this small zone, but it's kind of failing at the moment. No real signal here other than the fact that the RSI is trying to round out here, but the stochastic still angled firmly to the downside. Looking at the BitLab trading stack, we are above the weekly VWAP. If we can find support here anywhere in this region and start pushing up, that would ultimately be signaling we're likely going up towards 13.5. Next stop up here around 14. But as it stands right now, this is looking a little indeterminable. TIA, I saw one of you posted TIA. I won't let you down. Yeah. Yep. Boom. Let's see. TIA, falling, broadening wedge. Let's get it a little bit broader. Let's look at this. Falling, broadening wedge. Look at this. Boom. These tend to break bullish too, but this is a lot to do before this actually breaks out of here. Where did this travel down to? All the way back down to the zone that we have mapped out right in here. 5 bullish divergences on the BitLab trading stack. This, remember when I was talking about when you sign up for the indicator, for the Discord, the next page lets you upgrade and get the indicators. This is one of those reasons why I love the BitLab trading stack. We have all this data here. And then of course we have these moving averages as well as, showing 5 bearish divergences right here coming into this zone. RSI, stochastics, demand index, momentum, unbalanced volume. And right at the point that we rejected at the weekly VWAP, this yellow line. Now reject. Now we've broken through. So there's a little bit of a change of pace here. And the breakthrough happened right after this reversal signal. Boom. Pushed up. Now we're finding support right at it. If we can find support on TIA right here and start moving up, the next level I'd be watching for is the lows right here, which is about 739. So that's the target. If we lose this, I'm watching for potential washout to this 620. Which is this descending trend line right here. And if we lose that, then I think we're coming back down here into the 550s. Say, we have not looked at Say in a while. I saw somebody else in here, right? Say. Again, look, broke out above, finding support on the trend signal line as well as the weekly VWAP. We also have the reversal signal right here. Member for 7 months. Dude, Alex Green's been a member so much longer than that because he's not a member. He's an absolute team member. He helps so much along the way, getting a lot of the stuff in the courses and the quizzes. And he's more active than I am in the Discord. Everybody shout out for Alex Green there. Thank you for being a part of the team. I love you, my friend. By the way, is anybody here in Belgium? Is anybody here in Brussels? Let me know, because I will be in Belgium at ETHCC, this right here. Brussels for ETHCC. Where is it at? I'll be at this ETH conference, ETH community conference here in Brussels on July 8th to the 11th, I believe. If you are in Europe or going to be in Belgium, let me know. Shout out Mark Dutch. 3 months. Oh, no, dude, 3 months to everything. I appreciate you guys. I hope we could build more of a community vibe here in the live chat. I was looking at Frankie Candle's live chats. He has 5,000 something chats per live stream. I looked at ours. We have like 138. Let's all, that's why I got the chat up on screen. I want to be so much more engaged with you guys. Let's get our whole community way more involved with each other. Alex Green, that's right. You are in England. Let me know if you're going to be out there at all. Yeah. 3 months or 10 years, we see you. Yeah, shout out to that. Let's see what else we got before we go. Say, coming in, we got a bit of a bull pennant right here. Boom. Not bull pennant, sorry. It's actually a bear pennant. But being the state of the market right now, and where is this consolidating? Right at this zone, option J. Look at that. Where this chopped before. this chop right here. If we lose this zone, we're coming down here to 30 cents. If this bear pennant plays out, which is the target to this is 23, which is where these lows are. But if the market resolves as a broadly, then I don't think that's going to play out. I think that's more of a scary pattern. But we can see support that we're bouncing on right there. A bit of a falling wedge, macro, midterm macro falling wedge. Let's kind of go here. Or falling channel. Yeah, falling channel wedge. If we can start to push up, which the momentum looks like it's trying to shift, but the RSI is down. The stochastics are reaching a somewhat of a top zone. See this right here where this pushed, where this reversed? Look at the price action. Where this reversed, look at the price action. If we can hold in here, push back up and break to the upside, I'm watching for resistance, pretty strong resistance here at the 42-cent level. DESO, I didn't forget you, my friend. Let's see. Decentralized social. This is a coin I used to hold, and I didn't sell it because I didn't like it, but I had limited capital I was working with to share that community portfolio I was sharing with y'all, and I had a decision to make, and so I cut the capital from this one, rotated it into something else, but I do think this one's going to perform quite well in the bull market. This is a daily chart. Falling wedge here. Boom. And we're coming where? Right into the level. Look at this. If we just do this, option H, where is it coming into? Where we have these rejections. We had a lot of chop here. This kind of rejected a little bit below it. See, right in this zone. But if we can hold in this zone, and it looks like it's trying to, even if it trades sideways, we're going to want to watch this break out to the upside. And this is going to be a key level right here. Why? Because I see these lows. I see there we go. I see these lows coupled with these highs. This is going to be the level we're going to want to watch. See, bounce, rejection, gives you the zone. So if this does push up, we're watching this 2282 sort of level. If we can break free from that, we'll likely be seeing very strong upside price action. Shout out to every single person here in the room. If you haven't yet, show some love. Let me know what two assets do you think, other than Bitcoin and Ethereum, what alts do you think are going to be, and don't say meme coins, what alts, we can ask meme coins too, but what alts do you think are going to be your best two performing assets between now and the end of the year? Is there something I'm not paying attention to? Is it ONDO? Is it Algo? Is it AVAX? Is it, what are you looking at? Where do you think this market is going to be performing the best coming here into the end of the year? I'm very curious what you all think. Let me know in the live chat and in the comments down below. Link and ONDO, shout out to that. HBAR and XRP says objectively real, reality objectively. Alexander G just says ONDO. And you guys got to admit, ONDO has been performing quite well in the face of the rest of the market, having a little bit of dumpage, and struggle. Long sort of trend line here, finding, look at this, head and shoulders. We marked this out perfectly, broke down. Now we got this W formation reversal. If we can break back above this, and this RWA niche really does start pushing up. Remember, if you had not watched it, there's a great video I put out on Saturday with an actual protocol. It's called Chintai, one of the co-founders of that. And we don't talk about Chintai the entire time. We talk about where the RWA narrative is going, how many assets are coming into that, and why it's probably going to be one of the most explosive asset niches in not only crypto, but it's going to be bridging, traditional real world assets, and the capital that's available there. This is a video I think everybody should watch. It's about 40 minutes. Great content here. Definitely watch that. And if you haven't, so that's all I got to say about that. But everybody, remember, I love you. I want you to succeed. I want everybody here to come here for a positive community impact. Do we, I can't say that, Mark Dutch, but I'll laugh with you. Aptos, you know what? I think that one's going to be screaming up the charts here in the near future as well. But everybody, we're going to head over to the Gen Alpha stream here right now with Taco. We're going to get that meme coin fix, talking about all the kind of things that are going on in there. And that channel is, if you just sit here and stay on this channel, you'll automatically get redirected there. But that is the link. I just posted it in the live chat. But let's go, everybody. Let's show some love. Let's bring some BitLab Academy community lab coats. Let's drop some what's up. Let's say BitLab is here. All these in the live chats there. Show some love to Taco. That's all I got for today, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful day. Happy Taco Tuesday. It is Taco Tuesday. So let's go drop some lab coats in Taco stream right now. That's all I got. Adios, muchachos.